Sea of Thieves has seen better days. Despite some great quality of life updates and improvements recently, the content added in 2025 has been lackluster and mostly disappointing. That's not to say I haven't enjoyed what's been added, but with zero meaningful story additions and mostly reskinned activities re-released as new content, let's just say things are starting to feel a little stale. There are at least another 4 to 5 years of development planned for this game according to Rare, and based on recent development videos, and some conversations that I've had with the devs personally, it seems like they're finally on track to start delivering some real change to the seas. It's been a long time coming, and I don't think I'll believe it until I see it. But hey, I'm an optimist. I love this game and want nothing more than for it to succeed and become the best it can be. That being said, I've been doing some thinking lately. What would I add to Sea of Thieves to save it? Now, I don't believe the game will die. I think that as long as the updates keep coming, it will maintain a decent player base, and I'll get to keep having fun on my silly pirate game. But what would I add to give this game a chance at going truly mainstream? I've always thought it had the potential to be that game, but there's a reason why I'm making this video now. You might not agree with the suggestions I'm about to make, but stick with me. I might just change your mind. Arc Raiders just released and has found massive success. Despite being a new IP and an extraction shooter, the game has found a huge community of gamers who are absolutely loving it, myself included. The thing is, Arc Raiders has a lot in common with Sea of Thieves. There are obviously many major differences, but the more I think about why Arc Raiders is so good, the more I imagine a world where SOT takes some inspiration from their success and runs with it as far as its old engine can go. So some of the ideas I present today will be loosely inspired by Arc Raiders and the more hardcore extraction genre. Now that it's been proven that an extraction game can be not only successful, but thrive in a multiplayer gaming market, I think it's time to have this conversation. Sea of Thieves has always had a few key problems that have kept a large majority of potential players away from giving it a proper try. The main issue, in my opinion, being progression. In Sea of Thieves, you fight and collect loot for the express purpose of earning gold and leveling up your factions. Doing so unlocks cosmetic rewards, but no actual upgrades to help you succeed on the seas. The only thing that can give you an edge is practicing and learning how the tools of the sandbox work. This sounds great and balanced in theory, but in practice, a majority of players who try this game feel like they are wasting their time because they aren't seeing true progress. Without further ado, here's what I'm thinking. I want to see this game add new ways to power up our ships. There needs to be a new currency that can be used to purchase ship upgrades that improve parts of the ship. I want to be able to find rare, legendary ship upgrades like a fireball launcher, or a powerful front-mounted ram. There could be reinforced ship armor that permanently breaks off once hit. If I find one of these upgrades, I would have to bring it to a shipwright to have it installed. They would have durability, and you could repair them for a cost. I want to be able to steal these upgrades by sinking ships, and then sell them to fund higher level attachments or unlock new ones. I want to risk it all and fear sinking. These upgrades would have to be simple and reasonable. Nothing too powerful, just enough to make players feel like their time was well spent, even if they end up losing it all. The most common complaint I see in my comments is that there is no progression, because you can't get more powerful. So many players refuse to give it a try because of this, even though there are plenty of existing progression systems for those who dig in. This system would fundamentally change how we plan our voyages. Now, here's where things get interesting. When you're finished with your voyage, you can sail through a portal to return to your own private pirate hideout. Your ship upgrades and supplies could be stored in a limited stash, and you could move them to other ships in your fleet. You could also invite friends or guildmates to join you and check out your island. This place would be a gold sink, a place that you can customize with expensive decorations like trinkets. Most importantly, you could use this as a way to manage your resources and decide what you plan on bringing into your next voyage. Arc Raiders has proven that the extraction genre can reach a mainstream audience. Sea of Thieves already hits on many of the same feelings when you lose loot and such, so why not have a bit of gear fear too? This could be done in a fair and balanced way. Everything would need limits, but with a few good runs you could build a stash of augments to prepare your ship for battles against bigger, badder foes. And speaking of ships, it is time to expand the catalog of saleable ships in Sea of Thieves. I want to see 4 new ships added, a solo-only ship, and new variants of the 2-man, 3-man, and 4-man ships. I want to make a choice every time I set sail whether I should play on one ship or the other, and I believe this variety would greatly enhance player expression and gameplay. Players new and old would be very excited to try out all the new ships, and there are countless advantages and disadvantages that could be baked into each of them to make the experience unique. I want to build a fleet of ships stocked with different upgrades for different activities. For my pirate hideout, I could switch ships and change crew size. This would be a huge change for the game, and I strongly believe something like this is already in development. Since we're here, let's talk about a few ideas for how they could make these ships interesting to play with. The Skiff. A small single-sail vessel with a single cannon that can swivel all the way from left to front-facing to the right. It would have a single rear-facing harpoon. This ship would serve best as a stealth boat, hiding behind islands to get stuff done unnoticed. You could bring down your own mast to make the ship even less visible. Not only that, but while the mast is retracted, you could row the skiff to make it even stealthier. It would be about the same speed as a sloop, but as a solo vessel you can guarantee that larger ships will eye you as an easy target, if they can find you. The Cutter. With a more narrow and compact hull than the sloop, and an extra sail for speed, the Cutter is basically the fastest ship in the game. Built like a smaller version of the Brigantine, this ship would be ideal for getting voyages done quickly. Due to its size, it sinks quickly when under pressure. It is also less maneuverable than a sloop, but effectively has the same firepower with a cannon on each side. The Frigate. This shorter, multi-deck ship is built like a tank. Slower than the Brigantine, but highly defensive with cannons mounted in the middle deck and front-facing cannons on the top deck. A central rope ladder allows quick access to the lower deck, making it easier to fix damage down below. Grates and staircase near the front would make for great locations to bail water out. I think we already have a ship model in the game that would make for a great variant of the galleon. This is the Dark Brethren Ghost Ship, and it's a unique ship model. If we don't end up seeing this ship one day, I'll be very surprised. Otherwise, we could get a lighter ship like a corvette, or a heavily armed warship like a man-of-war. There are countless ways they could go about designing new ships for this game, but I think these ideas would all make for fun and exciting variety. Now that I've explained my ideas for power scaling and new ships, let's talk about what we need all that extra firepower for. Introducing the Grand Maritime Union. This game needs a new kind of enemy. A dangerous, real threat that is near impossible to deal with when unprepared or alone. These PvE ships would prowl the seas, interrupting our silly pirating and hunting us down if we don't learn how to avoid them. Wherever you look, there would be dangerous scout boats on the horizon. If they spotted you, reinforcements would be called and you would be overwhelmed immediately. All pirates would be forced to set aside their differences and work together in the presence of this new enemy. The community would come together like never before, rallying against the freedom-suppressing Marines. They would build naval bases and take over islands like the Sea Dogs Tavern. There could be stealth missions that would require you to sneak onto warships and get past guards to steal resources or valuable documents. NPC Marines and Generals would be a new enemy type, and would take you down much more quickly than skeletons. Maritime warships would be armed with black powder catapults and front-facing cannons. Attacks from their advanced weapons would almost always result in your doom, unless you have the proper defenses equipped. With enough firepower, or the help of other crews, these enemies could be defeated, but it would always be challenging, and the rewards would provide the new currency required for purchasing ship upgrades. Existing PvE could stay the same, and these enemies could be avoided entirely if respected. But my dream for this game now is to have a true enemy that unites us all against them, just like the Ark and Ark Raiders, or the many enemy factions of Helldivers 2. Naturally, these experiences would be limited to high seas. Players looking for relaxing and easy gameplay will be able to play Safer Seas, or take part in the upcoming Safer Seas fleets and custom servers. How would this fit in with the lore? Well, I'm not just making things up, and let it be known that I wrote this script before the Orb stream. In Season 7, the Sovereign were introduced to the game. These shady rascals have been happily taking our loot for years now, but where did they come from? It is clear that they are somehow under the employ of this outside force. It seems that the pirates of the world may have fled to the Sea of Thieves to get away from their anti-piracy activity, as their fleets are too large to safely cross the Devil's Shroud. In a recent secret cutscene, Duke of the Dark Brethren rambles about freedom, and how through the power of the Dark Ancients he will bring about a new Sea of Thieves, one with no rulers and no rules. But what if he too is being manipulated? What if the power of the Dark Ancients is just what the Grand Maritime Union needs to break through the Shroud? These so-called smugglers who have so conveniently joined in to help Duke's great cause. Something just doesn't seem right about any of it. In the face of a great new foe, pirates would need to become more powerful. We would need to learn from the enemy, build ships like their own, and plunder their resources to secure the pirate's life. Pirates would be far more inclined to work together than ever before, and the community would thrive as they rally against a great new threat. This idea is extremely ambitious, and I don't actually expect us to get anything close to what I'm suggesting here. But I've had a lot of fun thinking about this concept lately, and even if you think the game should go in a different direction, I hope my ideas may inspire some more hope in the community. Whatever ends up coming to the Sea of Thieves, I'll be here for it. Thank you for watching. If you have ideas of your own, tell me about it in the comments. If you hate my suggestions and think I'm crazy, tell me about that too. In my opinion, these changes would give the game the best possible chance of reaching a larger audience in the current gaming landscape. There is endless potential here, and at the end of the day, I just want more players to experience it. That's all for now. I'll see you guys in the next video.